This is Bingo from TradingTennis.eu. This was the semi-final Federer against Cilic in the US Open on Saturday, the 6th of September. And while Nordavind, our resident tennis pro, was taking a well-deserved day off, I thought I'd kind of have a little play around with some other markets and see if I could sort of gain any sort of advantage or kind of understanding even of the way markets are moving. And what I chose was the game betting market. So it's I can't exactly show you where it is on the Betfair coupon because I've got the Geeks Toys Trading software open, but you'll find it on certainly the bigger liquidity matches anyway, where you can bet on each individual game. And I think what I was trying to look at, I mean, it was all very hit and miss and not particularly scientific. What I was really looking at was, for example, the cheap lays. So in other words, when a server goes 40 love up or 40-15, what were the odds going to be, and could I sort of make a profit if the trade sort of went with me? Obviously, when it goes to 40 love, of course, then if the server sort of serves out for the game and he's won, you've lost your money. But when you're laying, this is my immediate thought, at 1.02, what would happen when it does go to 40-15? Or 40-30. This is sort of what I was looking at in terms of the odds, and some of the staking kind of varies a bit, and some of the entry points vary. So I was kind of just having a go really, and trying to see sort of exactly what would happen. So there are some mistakes, but some good ones too. So this was my first entry into this particular market, and it was in the first set, and it was game 8, and Federer was serving, and I laid for £100 at 1.08, and Federer went on to go 40-15, then win the game. My first attempt at this, I lost £8, so the score went to 5-3, and Cilic, who was going to be serving next, serving out to win the first set. But let's see. Now, I was also sort of trying to look at, were there any sort of different entry points for the two different players? Federer obviously being the very, very strong favourite. Would his prices sort of be reflected because of that factor, because he was a heavy favourite? And so I was kind of having to look at that, and I think in the third set I was getting to kind of grips with that idea a little better as to what the entry point could be for the two different players. So I've done the same thing again. I've laid Cilic at 1.08 for £100, or at least I think I have. Okay, I didn't get that match, so he's 15 love up, and what am I dithering about here? Looks like I'm trying to get in at 1.04. Perhaps I was waiting for it to go 30 love, yeah. Now, as you can see, there are massive gaps in this market, so it's kind of difficult sometimes to know what entry point can I actually sort of go for, given that there's sort of huge gaps. I looked for a gap there. There was no money actually available at 1.03, so I think if I go in here, at least I'm first in the queue. Thinking about 1.02 as well. He's 40 love up. Now this is okay, so this is the sort of classic sort of entry point, and I thought, right, here we go, 1.02, he's 40 love up, £100, so my liability is £2 basically. And I was thinking, right, good, what's going to happen if Federer gets back to 40-15, then even better 40-30, etc, etc. Nothing. Cilic actually went on to win the game to love, so that's £2 loss on that second game that I've tried, so that's £10 down so far. And Cilic won the first set 6-3, so set 2, and Federer will open the serve, So let's see what the prices are for Federer when he's about to begin his service game. And you can see there it's kind of hovering round about so 1.14, 1.15. So that's where he starts. And you'll notice Cilic serving, when he starts his service game, his odds are sort of round about sort of 1.2, 1.21, 1.22, something like that. So that's something to sort of try to consider. Okay, in yet again. 1.02 for £100. Liability will be £2. And obviously what I should do is make a very careful note, even on a piece of paper. What odds do they drop down to when the server is 15 love up and 30 love up? 40 love, sure, it will go to 1.02, 1.01. But as I said, this is the first sort of dipping my toe in the water in this particular market, so I think I'll try and be a little bit more rigorous next time. Right, now what happened was Cilic broke Federer's serve, so that 1.02 wasn't matched. So on to the second game, and Cilic will be about to serve, and you can just see there, yeah, he started off at sort of 1.22 when he was about to serve. He's gone 15 love up, so the price drops to 1.10, 1.11. I've got my £100 lay bet in at 1.02. I noticed sort of quite often during the game the Betfair scoreboard, which you can see to the right of the screen, it was slow. Sometimes it was okay, and it sort of seemed to correspond exactly what was happening with the odds movement on the trading software, which is to the left of the screen, and other times it wasn't. Here it seems okay. It's 40 love to Cilic on his serve. My lay bet should be getting matched at 1.02. There it is. Now let's see if we can actually get some positive action here off this 1.02 lay, which basically means I want Federer to at least win the next point, which he does. So 40.15. Has the price moved? Not exactly. Now I could get out for a scratch here, couldn't I? And this is what I'll sort of talk about a little bit later, actually. All these lays at 1.02, would it have been best just to leave them? In other words, just don't trade them. Just it's, if you like, it's just a punt. And you know, how many times will we need to be right to actually be in a profit over the long term? Okay, well we can see here it's 40.30, and the price has moved out to 1.09. You can see I could take a profit of £7.27 there, and it'll go up to £11.09, £11.58 I think I monitored. I could hedge out. You can see just to the right of Martin Cilic, you got £3.20 profit already, because I backed for £10 at 1.52. The score is 40.30. £11.80 is my hedge potential profit if I get out now with a score at 40.30. But I've got a guarantee £3.20 should Cilic win. And what I really wanted here, having £90 on Federer, what would happen if it went to deuce? Right, not to be, but okay, the first bit of profit, £3.20. So that was on the third game of this experiment. Cilic leads to love in the second set. On to game 3, Federer serving. In goes the lay, £100 at 1.02, 15 all. The odds move out to about 1.19. So this is still my entry point, this 1.02 on both players. In other games throughout the rest of the match, I've actually sort of experimented with different entry points and different staking too. But I'm just sort of plugging away with this sort of 1.02 lay just for the first sort of games. And Federer's 30.15 up, trading at 1.08 now. If he goes 40.15, then I should get matched. There we go, 40.15 matched. Liability £2. red on Federer, £100, green on Cilic. Now this is where I'm deciding to sort of possibly get a little bit of green should it go to 40-30. It didn't. Okay, so that's the fourth game now. So I've lost another £2. So I think I'm £11, what, £11.80 down so far. 2-1, Cilic with a break of serve already, as we know. In the second set he's leading 2-1 and he's about to serve. Now, what am I doing here? Okay, I'm trying something completely random, which is I put 4 lay bets in at £25 each at 1.05, 1.04, 1.03 and 1.02. Why did I do that? I don't know. Look, as I said, this wasn't very scientific, but I kind of thought, I don't know. Let's see what happens. 15 love lead. The odds drop to 1.11. That's obviously 30 love. The up. Betfair scoreboard keeping up. That's one lay bet at 25 matched. The other one, half of it's been matched. Or £15 if it has. That's 2 lots of £25 lays matched. Trading at 1.04. He's 30 love up. Now there we go. Now Federer got back to 30-15, did he? Yeah. But this is where the scoreboard sort of doesn't really kind of equate with what's going on the trading software screen, because it's still at 1.04, which would mean, in my view, that it should be 40-15 here. But now it's 30 all, and it's just kind of weird because it's 30 all. Here we go, and we should be bouncing out. That's 1.33. Good. So there was that's a bit difficult too when the scoreboard doesn't really seem to be quite keeping up with software or the other way around. And here I can get out for a sort of a £12 hedge green. I was only matched on 2 of my lays, so that's £50 green on Federer, and I decided to put in a back bet at sort of 1.22 for £20 instead of taking that sort of £12 odd possible hedge green. It's gone to 40-30, comes back down to 1.11. Now ideally we want it to go to deuce, but we've got £5.75 already guaranteed because I backed and got matched for £20 at 1.40 when it went to 30 all. And Cilic went on to hold his serve to lead 3-1. The next game, there was no trade. I think I was getting a cup of tea or something. Federer won 3-2. So on to the 6th game, and it's Cilic serving. And since I had a kind of a small success with this drip lay of 4 lots of £25 in the previous game, I thought I'd try it again. Yeah, I'm also confusing the issue even further by doing exactly the same lay bets on the other side, on Federer. So I couldn't even really begin to explain why I thought that. I don't know what would be the point of that, what would happen if Federer went 40 love up on Cilic's serve. I don't know. Well, not too sure that anything happens in this particular game. Right, Cilic goes into a 30 love lead. 2 £25 lays are matched. 3 matched. 40 love Cilic. Really need Federer to get a point back. I put in a bet at £50 at 1.10. If it went to 40-15, would it have bounced back out to 1.1? Probably not. And that's what I must sort of keep my eye on next time I try this, if I actually ever do. Okay, £3.50 loss on that game. To game 7 in the second set. Cilic's leading 4-2. Federer to serve, and I'm putting in £100 at 1.03 this time. 30 love. Federer comes crashing into 1.04. Goes to 30 love Federer. The bet's been matched, so I'm trying to juice some of this red or get a profit a little bit on Federer. So I backed for £50 at 1.1 as it goes to 30.15. So I've cleared the red and got £2 green on Federer. Obviously now would like it to go to 30 all, go actually to 40.15. But when it went to 30.15, I could have taken a £5.96 hedge profit there. There we go, £5.56. As it goes to 40.30. But this is where it does get a little bit tricky to get matched. So trying at 1.13 for 20 quid didn't work. Okay, £2 profit. Game 7 in the second set. Score's now 4-3. Cilic to serve next. What master plan have I got up my sleeve this time? Alright, I'm forgetting those £25 lays. Going back to the straightforward £100 at 1.03. And Cilic, it's right, it's starting odds here at 1.21 when he's about to serve. When Federer is serving at the beginning of the game, his odds are around about 1.14, 1.15. 15 love to Federer. Cilic goes shooting out to 1.46. 15 all. Back into 1.26. Of course, I've got nothing matched so far. Pound at 1.03. As you can see in the bottom of the centre of the software there next to the graph, still waiting to be matched. 30.15 to Cilic on his serve into 1.12. If it goes to 40.15, there I am matched. When it goes to 40.15, if it goes to 40.30, where's he going to bounce out to? 1.10, maybe a bit higher. I'm not sure, so I'm going to try for £20 back at 1.10. £25 I should say. So I'd like to clear that £3 red I've got on Cilic. Yeah, 7,985 quid. I mean, for a market with kind of pretty poor liquidity and huge gaps, there were some sort of quite surprising amounts of money that would suddenly appear. At one point, I sort of noticed there was a guy that was always shoving in about 4,400, always above my little sort of 50 quid or 100 quid. We might see evidence of that a bit later. So it goes to 40.30, and yeah, that £20 was matched at 1.1. £25 was matched at 1.1. So I ended up with a 50p loss on Cilic on that game instead of £3. So not so bad. And Federer serving to stay in the second set. Game number 9. The lay goes in at 1.03. Now, why did I change from 1.02 and move it up to 1.03 in these latter games? Not quite too sure. I know one of the reasons was that always at 1.02 there just seems to be this huge amount of money. You can see there you got 4,862 quid. No, it's disappeared. So at least I just wanted to go for a particular price where I know I get matched because I'll be first in the queue. And if we're talking about the difference between £1, I suppose, okay, that's not that sensible particularly, but because if you're dealing in sort of £10,000, that could be quite a difference. But that was kind of my reason, really, just to make sure that at least I got matched if it did get down to 1.03. So I'm waiting for that. And Federer, 30.15, 40.15 on his serve. Okay, that makes sense. Matched there. So we need Cilic to come back to 40.30. So I'm anticipating that if that happens, then the price will move out to 1.11. So I'll put a back bet in at £50. Right, 40.30. So it didn't quite get to 1.11. Bit of a pain. Now we can see, the top right of this trading software, I've got £2 Federer there, £10, £3.40. You can see just to the right, that's the hedge figure we're talking about. £7, £8.97, £12.50 possibly, and it's gone to juice. Now, so I'm trying to get something out of this. So I've put £20 back in at 1.19. The score is at juice, and that was matched. and it went to advantage Federer just after that, so that was kind of quite good timing. I could take £9.60 odd there, £7.80 profit. I've got £5.80 guaranteed on Federer, £30 on Cilic. £11.67 I could take because it goes to juice. £11.80, £9.49, £12.21. That's what I could have taken just there. Advantage Federer, and he holds his service game, so he's still in the second set, trailing by 5-4. Cilic to serve out for the second set. I put in a lay at 1.04 this time for £100 on Cilic's serve. As he goes into a 15-love lead, 30-love lead, still not matched at 1.04. If it goes to 40-love, then I know that the price will come down to sort of 1.02, 1.01. So I just moved it from 1.04. So 3 set points. I put a back bet in at £50 at 1.05, which was just matched as it went to 40.15. So I cleared the red. It goes to 40.30, then perhaps it should go to what, 1.15? I wouldn't find out. It's alright, 50p profit. Game 10, and Cilic takes the second set 6-4 to lead by 2 sets to love. Now, I'm sort of anticipating now that the market will kind of figure that Federer surely has got to sort of get back into the match and will start strongly, which he did. He won his first game, service game to love, so to lead 1-0 in the third set. Game 2, let's see what happens here. I think trying a slightly different tactic now. Instead of the £100 lay at 1.02, 1.03, I think I'm trying something a bit different. Yeah, you can see Cilic sort of would start about 1.24, but Federer went into a 15-love lead. So the price of Cilic now goes out, 1.43. 30-love for Federer on Cilic's serve. Both players now at about even money, 2.0 on the pair. And I haven't got a bet matched yet. In fact, I haven't even found an entry point. And at this point, I would think, well, I wouldn't know what the entry point is. Am I going to bother? I don't think so. If it goes to 15.40 for Federer, then it would go down to sort of 1.05-ish. However, it went to 30 all, so the £50 at 1.05, lay on Federer, wasn't matched. Break point for Federer, and the odds move back out again to round about even money again on both players. And Federer breaks serve to go 2-0 up. Game 3, no trade. I didn't get an entry point here. So while this particular game is going on, 30-15 to Cilic on Federer's serve, just some sort of random musings. Would it be great to get some statistics on how many times 40 love to the server ends up with being broken? In other words, if you're laying at 40 love at 1.02, 1.01, how many times would the player with the server leading 40 love actually go on to lose that serve? Interesting to see particular stats for that, because if you're laying at 1.02, to be in profit overall, you need to be correct only twice out of 50 times, and the server is 40 love up. So if stats can show you the probability is a lot better than that, maybe 1.02 laying when a server is 40 love up is actually good value. Right, there's no trade on that third game. So on to the fourth game, Cilic serving, and I've decided to go for an entry point to around about 1.14. I think I'm just about getting the hang of where the odds will move to each particular point. So if it goes 15 love to Chilik on his serve, expecting the odds will go down to around about 1.14, in which case I will get my £50 lay matched. Yeah, there you can see there's this 4,400 guy. I don't know why. I don't know what he's doing. Hanging over my shoulder. Not as though my 50 quid's going to disturb him that much, surely. 15 love. Yeah, good. So the entry point was just about right there. Lay matched at 1.14. Got £50 green on Federer and £7 red on Chilik with that £50 lay at 1.14. It's a 15 all. Then the odds should go to higher than they were at the start of the game, which is 1.22. So gone out to about 1.26, and there's these gaps here now. So I don't know, what? It's sort of a bit hit and miss really. So I'm just going for 1.25, and that was matched. But it went to 15.30 just after that, so it went out to shot out to 1.74. Now I could take £11.61, hedge profit £12.22 there. But I put in another to 1.78 for £10. I could take £13 to the hedge profit. Federer leads 30-15 on Chilik's serve. It goes back to 30 all. Okay, Chilik holds his serve. So we're 2 all in the third set. Federer to serve next. Game 5. So Fed goes into a 15 love lead on his own serve. A little bit slow there. I wanted to get in at sort of around about 1.08, 1.09. I've taken a point at 1.06, which is kind of in no man's land. Wouldn't have got that if he went 15 love ahead, which he did. It went as low as 1.09 then. It's gone to 15 all, so the price has gone to 1.2. So that 1.06, that looks like a bad entry point to me. So if it had gone to 30 love, I'm sure it would have gone to like about 1.04. It's gone to 30.15, and it's at 1.03. I don't mind getting in here. 40.15, 1.02. Yeah, so I don't mind getting in here. If it goes to 40.30, I'm primed to a back bet at 20 quid at 1.08, 1.09. Didn't happen. Federer holds serve. 3-2 lead in the third set. So game 6, Chilik to serve. Let's try this entry point again, as I did on Chilik's previous service game. 1.15 laying for £50, which gets matched straight away as he goes into a 15 of lead, getting primed with a £20 back bet should it go to 15 all, and does, and I get matched for £20 at 1.27. I could take a hedge profit there of what, £5.12, 30.15 Federer. Now, where do I go? I could take £11 here. I've got sort of no idea. So I sort of put it in at 1.43 for 10 quid, but it was matched at 1.69. Now, why is that? Well, because that was the best available price at the time. So I got a sort of a 26 tick advantage there because of the Betfair policy of matching your bet at the best available price. So that was kind of quite good. Right, 40.30. So I kind of missed out on the hedge. Potential profit £11.50 there, and Chilik is on to win this game. I've won £1.80. 3 all, third set. Game 7, Federer. See his starting odds around about 1.15 compared to Chilik's, which is 1.22. Which, given that Chilik has obviously been, wasn't watching the game, but obviously Chilik was serving really, really well. He's been broken once, wasn't it, at the beginning of the third set, whereas Federer hasn't. Federer has been broken 4 times? Why should Federer really be starting at 1.15 and Chilik at 1.22? Should be the other way round, really. So my entry point at 1.09 not matched. I'm hoping that obviously if it goes to 30.15 Federer, 1.09 will be taken. There it has, and it goes to 30.15. hoping that it will go to 30 all. I'm ready with a £20 back at 1.17, waiting to be taken. Come on, it's a bargain. 1.17, there you go. Thank you. 30 all. Clear that £1.10 red. I'm going in again at 1.2. I don't know, I mean, it's flashing up. You can see 1.24 at the top centre. That's what the last traded price was. I got matched at 1.24, even though I put my bet in at 1.2. So again, that example of the best available price, that works again in my favour. And this time I've decided to sort of hedge out. So I've taken a £9.67 hedge green at 1.81. See in the bottom right of the screen, the box of all the match bets: 1.81 for £10.33, 1.24 for £10, 1.17 for 20, and the initial lay at 1.09 for 50. So that time I decided to actually take the hedged green, having sort of looked at the previous games where I could have taken profits of £11, £12, £13, £16, £5.96, £11.80. So this time I actually went for it. Cilic looks just about so he's going to break Federer's serve again. Game 7 of the third set. Game 8. Cilic leads 4-3. About to serve. Now at this point, 2 sets to love up. 4-3. Just broken Federer's serve. Serving for a 5-3 lead. 1 game away from victory. I don't know. I did think about, well, that's it, I was just going to wrap it up there, and the experiment would be sort of finished and analysed and maybe brought out for another day. But I don't know, I just decided to sort of see it through to the very end, because by this point I sort of, even though I wasn't watching the game, I just sort of thought, no, Federer's had it now. Sort of a bridge too far, he won't come back from this. So I really shouldn't have sort of entered, but never mind. I mean, I entered at 1.14 for 50 quid, got that match laid. I backed at 1.23 as it went to 15 all for 20, so that wasn't matched, unfortunately. And he went into a 40-15 lead. You can see there at 1.23, that £20 is unmatched. So I ended up with a £7 red there, and I could have reduced that, excuse me, by sort of £4 odd. Sort of slightly missed opportunity to reduce the red on that game. Having said that, I don't think I should have entered the trade and should have sort of wrapped this all up anyway by now. 5-3 Federer serving to stay in the game. And again, my gut instinct said, no, he'll probably win his serve now, just to sort of eke out his sort of possible sort of defence just sort of one more time. But I kind of knew that the game was up at this point. Thinking about entering, and 30 love up, going in for £50 at 1.04. Come on, bingo, make up your mind. 40 love up, go on at 1.02. Cost me a quid. It goes to 40-15, maybe try and get out at 1.05, 1.06, something like that. No, it didn't. Federer held his serve to love, and Cilic now to serve out the game. And that one I did actually leave alone. So, yeah, what sort of conclusions can I draw? In a market that was sort of quite difficult sometimes to sort of pinpoint to where the prices, were going to go, or at least not quite that. It was kind of more difficult to know where you would be matched. And on a couple of occasions, yes, I did sort of get lucky, I suppose, by entering a particular price and then getting matched at a higher price. I'll sort of explain why that happens. I think the other point is that I think hedging out when I had the opportunity would have been, a more profitable way to do things. But I would have to sort of see this sort of long term and spread out over a number of matches, so I can sort of collate the sort of sufficient data. But I worked out that if I did hedge out on all of the games where I could have done so, I would have made £67.57p green, and I would have, on the games I would have lost, that's £33.10p. So I would have made around about £45, which, hour and a half? Yeah, that's sort of an acceptable living wage, isn't it? So look, next time I'll try that again. I think my entry points will be a little bit sort of sharper as well. I'll give it another go. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and of course if any of you got any advice or sort of comments about that particular idea or strategy, then obviously drop me a mail, support@tradingtennis.eu. Alright, thanks for watching.